Welcome to Jupiter Hell. Available exclusively on the Epic Store. Just kidding.
What's up, folks, and welcome to Indie Showcase. Yes, take a drink. We're doing another roguelike, and I know I've done so many of these and so many shmups lately, but there's just been so many good ones that I really wanted to talk about. And there's going to be other different stuff coming soon, I promise you, but I did want to show you guys this one. I actually did stream this game originally. If you're not following me over on Twitch, you really should, because we cover a lot of indie games there that you may not see over here. But this deserved a video as well because it's just that good. So this was in early access for a bit, but it's out now. This is Jupiter Hell, and well, the premise in my mind is, what if you took Doom and made it a roguelike? That's pretty much what this is. The developer of this originally made a game very similar to it as a Doom mod, actually did the whole top-down thing in the Doom engine and the whole bit. And then he decided to turn it into a full standalone game, rocking his own engine no less, which I think is pretty friggin' awesome. So yeah, the thing with this is it is a proper roguelike, not a roguelite. You may have heard me talk about that before, but in case you haven't or you're new here, the difference between a roguelike and a roguelite is that in a roguelite, the game is played in runs, and when you die, your run is over. However, you can earn a certain measure of permanent upgrades and items through progression that you can keep and use between different runs. That's the basics of it. In an old school roguelike, when you die, that's it. You're back to square one. Your next run is just like you never played before. And that's what this one is. Modern gamers tend to prefer roguelites because they like that permanent progression. I do too, but some games I think are just very well suited to the older school type of genre. And that is what this one is, and it's a blast. So I'm actually playing with the keyboard, not keyboard and mouse, keyboard. Yeah, this is all that, but it does have full controller support, which is quite nice. So when you start a game off, I loaded right into a game that I just started there, but you get to pick between multiple different classes, which all have very different focuses and different styles of play for them. And as you kill enemies throughout the game here, you see you can level up, and it changes significantly what your stats are, and each of these is quite a bit different. So I'm not going to spend a lot of time on those. I'm going to go through them fairly quick. But yeah, your idea is you have crash landed on this station where everything seems to have gone to hell, and you're trying to find a way off of it. So as you progress, you'll get through different areas with different types of challenges. Things will get harder and harder and harder until eventually, hopefully, you find your way out. That's pretty much it. And it's fully turn-based. Now, you may see bits like this where it looks like I'm running. That's actually because I'm mashing the key. The developer did a really cool thing where it can almost look like you're playing in real time if you mash the key fast enough. But it is actually, every time I take one move, whether it's to move a square, reload, fire my gun, whatever, that is a move. And the enemies don't get a turn until you take your turn. So that's very key to understanding how this works. It's fully turn-based. And so you see I found an elevator there. You will get to different areas where sometimes there's multiple different elevators that will take you to different places. So this isn't necessarily a full linear progression. You can actually go down different paths in this game and choose to go in different directions. This is definitely not a game that if you actually manage to get to the end of this, this is not a game you will one and done. It is very conducive to multiple playthroughs, and the levels are procedurally generated as well, which is also a staple of the genre. So you're going along trying to take out enemies. You will see enemies will drop ammo, guns, throwables, healing items, and other things like multi-tools that will allow you to hack certain things. There is some light hacking in this, though it's mostly just menus, and also allow you to get some special upgrades and also find out more things that have been happening. So what you can do is you can press F to just fire at the nearest enemy you see on screen, or if you press T, you can do this, where you can sort of manually target what you want to shoot at. And that's valuable because it allows you to do things like that. Oh yeah. You are gonna pop a lot of barrels in this, and as you can see, it does some real benefit to you. Yes, indeed. And you're going to encounter enemies of all types. You're going to encounter possessed Marines. You're going to encounter aliens that can do things like throw fireballs, like that one that you saw there. Oh yeah. See how I didn't reload? Yeah, you got to do that, and that takes a turn. You got to make sure that you keep your gun stocked. You can carry up to 3 weapons at once. You can see in the bottom right there, I'm cycling through them. What you can do is when you're on top of any weapon, you can hold the shift key to do a comparison like that. This is not a game where you can take your old stuff and sell it or recycle it or do anything like that that allows you to significantly improve them. So if you see a gun on the ground that you don't need, don't worry about it. You just leave it there and keep going. And you do have an inventory in here, as you can see. I love the UI in this game, by the way. It's got this very old school computer type layout, including the slow text draw with the old school font. This is just like, this is delightful. I think the interface on this, he leaned into it really good. I think it's really, really cool. And so yeah, you find a gun that you don't need, you just leave it. You don't have to take it with you. You can also hold a lot of ammo, but you get over a certain point and you'll see that the ammo takes up extra slots, so you have to be careful about that. As you can see, you can drop anything that you don't want. There's a lot of systems to this, and depending on the class that you're playing, you'll see that there's other mechanics at play as well. So in the bottom left there, you see I've got health. I've also got fury, and fury is, for lack of a better term, it's like your magic points. It's your ability score, basically. Oh, here's some good, those are some armor bits I just picked up. Very, very helpful indeed. So this is my character sheet here. You can see very old school, almost DOS looking, right? There's the traits that I've earned so far, the journal, which is messages that you'll pick up, the inventory, and you can just switch back and forth on these by using the left and right arrow keys. And you see here's the different items that I have in terms of weapons, as well as armor, utilities, relics, all of these things. This is not a shallow game, not at all. There is a lot to this, and there's a lot to remember. And there's frankly a lot of keys. It's gonna take you a little while to remember the layout of everything in this. This is a game that will take a little bit of getting used to, a little bit of practice, and you're going to die a hell of a lot. There's no doubt about that. So here's a computer terminal that I found. So sometimes you need multi-tools in order to access things in here, but sometimes not. There's the message, there's recon. You can, if you have a multi-tool, which I have one of, I could do something like reveal the map. You do have a map there in the upper left corner, as you can see. So let's do that. There we go. So we've seen core elements of the level now. There's also a securely locked vault on some levels, which you can unlock, that will help you out as well. And yeah, what you will use Fury for as the Marine class that I'm playing here is, you see it keeps prompting me there for adrenaline. And yeah, that has pretty much the effect you would expect it to. You can see here it gets pretty dark. So you use that, and it shows how many turns you get. So that wasn't a brilliant use of it there, but that was just to sort of demonstrate its ability. It basically gives you, it's a super mode, effectively. Oh crap! So there is cover in this as well, as you can see. Let's do that. Sorry, boys. So there is cover in this. It will show you your dodge percentage in the bottom left there. So you actually do want to take advantage. You want to try to fire around corners when you can. You don't want to stay out in the open like I was doing there, like a chump. You want to make sure that you're really on top of your strategic positioning in that, because that will become uber important very, very quickly as this game ramps up. I've gotten well into the second section of the game, but it gets tough, man. You will die a lot playing this, and that's the point. That's the point. And the cool thing is, the game actually, and I'll show you this because I'm inevitably gonna die in the course of this video. The game will show you a detailed stat breakdown at the end, and you can even go so far as to have the game write out your death stats. I think it's in the options here. You can actually have the game write out your death stats to a text file when you're done, if you want. So you can analyze it and see your stats and figure out how to actually, like, how best to min-max your run the next time. Like, it's hardcore. It really is. This is a game, you know, if you want your first roguelike, this may not be the most ideal thing for you, because the game is, let's use one of my med kits here. The game is a bugger. There's no doubt about it. It's very, very challenging, and there's a lot to learn. But if you're willing to dig in and really put the time in to learn the game's systems, it's incredibly rewarding. When you have a good run, you'll feel so good. I had a really good run on my stream when I was playing this, and I was just like, yeah! Even though I did die in the end, I got so far, and I was for a good period of time, I was an unstoppable badass, and I felt like $1,000,000. So yeah, see, this is Valhalla Terminal. So because this is a green elevator, this will take me to a different part of the base, different environment.
Here soon.
There are also levels like this, where you'll have certain special things happen, where, for example, if I don't get out of here quickly, security will lock down the area, and that makes things way, way, way harder. There's areas where there's vaults, there's hyper powerful enemies, there's all kinds of, let's do that. There's areas where there's hyper powerful enemies that will spawn in if you don't get out quick enough. Yeah, you got to really pay attention to that stuff. The game does not take prisoners, and it does not hold your hand. It does have a tutorial, but it expects that you know what you're doing. And I really like that. I appreciate it. This is a game for hardcore players who want a really, really challenging experience. I don't have any multi-tools, and that sucks because I could have canceled the lockdown. Dang it. And it pulls no punches. This is a game also that has a very, though you can turn it off, this is a game that is developed with a very particular sense of humor in mind. There's a lot of swearing in it. There's a lot of dumb, potty mouth humor. I love it, personally. But you can turn it off if you want. I'm glad they give the option, but you really should play this the way it was intended. This character is a generally somewhat unlikable, I guess you'd say, kind of Duke Nukem-esque character. There's references in the humor in this game, left, right, and center. It friggin' makes all kinds of, Duke Nukem-style jokes and things. Oh, hi! Things like that. I'm probably gonna die here. Yep. There we go. You die. And as you can see, look at the stats you get. This is a proper roguelike player. They love this stuff. This is a delight. And you can actually have it dump this out to like I said, you could have it dump this out to a text file if you want, so that you can get all that. You can specify your character's name at the start, as you can see here, which is for the Hall of Fame. You can actually turn that off if you don't feel like doing it every time. We put in a bunch of goofy names when I was streaming this. And then, yeah, you're right back here. So the nice thing is there is a tutorial in this. There's also challenge modes and what are called trials. They are exactly that. They're modes where you have to do specific things. I have literally not unlocked any of these yet, because you have to increase permanent ranks in order to do that. And yeah, the trials are rough. As you can see, it's basically you're doing a run with special extra brutal conditions on top of it. That's pretty much what it is. The regular game I was playing on, that was easy, by the way, that I was playing on. Oh yeah. And that is with things easier. And as you can see, if you're that nuts, you can make this step on your throat difficult. And I appreciate that. So here's the different classes. So the Marine is who I was playing there. As you can see, it gives a nice breakdown of everything they have. The Scout is the one I personally like the least, but I could see why a lot of people definitely would like it. The Technician is one that I actually found interesting. This one is much more focused on hacking. It has a lot of Omni tools and things like that, but all of these classes can still fight pretty darn well. So
looks like my comms chip got fried. But
so there's definitely a lot of options in this. So you see this guy has Dismantle and Smokescreen as his primary abilities to start with, So this game offers a lot. It really does. And also he uses Power instead of Fury as his sort of, item ability or item power, I guess you'd say.
I don't see anything.
But yeah, I honestly think this is a brilliant roguelike. The developer of this game knew exactly what he wanted to make, and he adhered to that brilliantly. Yeah, Foul Stench, this has an infestation, so yeah, this is fun. And also, I mean, the game is trying to be a Doom roguelike in so many ways. The visuals look like that, and I mean, listen to this soundtrack. The soundtrack for this is unfortunately not available to buy yet. Apparently they're working on it because people have been begging them for it, myself included. This soundtrack is just, it's perfect for a game like this. It's just metal AF, and
Hell, let's do this.
you know, it's the kind of thing you, oh crap. I am not in a good spot right now.
Reload, damn it.
Oh yeah, no, that didn't go well. And this is the way roguelikes are. Sometimes it's going to absolutely beat your ass, and other times you'll have a better run of it. That's just how it goes. You got to suck it up and, you know, hit go again. And this has very much a just one more run kind of feel to it. I have been enjoying this game immensely.
Okay. Who the hell
Even
shot
though
me
it's hard
down?
as hell, but it's metal AF. I think the engine looks really well. And the amazing thing is this engine, it actually runs on Vulkan as opposed to DirectX, which is really impressive. Like Vulkan is the system that the new Doom games run on, which look amazing and run at like 1 billion frames a second. And I think it's pretty impressive that this guy chose not only to roll with his own engine, which he's saying he might open source for other people who want to make games like this. But yeah, it actually runs on Vulkan, which is I think is super cool. This is actually pretty impressive, very modern tech that this guy has developed for this game. And yeah, this is really, really impressive. It, like I said, it's hard as hell. It is a proper roguelike, not a light. So if you either want a light or... Oh yeah, this guy also starts with a revolver, which you have to reload every time, but which will red miss just about anything. Yeah, you are going to have to accept the fact that this game is incredibly difficult, and you could be having, you know, a kick-ass run where you're super OP and everything, and then one wrong move and you're splattered, and that's it. That's the way these games are. They're punishing, and they're not for everybody. You know, I generally prefer roguelites these days, which do have the permanent progression, just because it's nice to feel that even in your failures, you've been rewarded in some regard, right? But I really appreciate actual roguelikes with, you know, the hardcore difficulty, the no holds barred, the no hand holding approach that are still well designed in their own right. To do one of these well, you've got to be really, really meticulous in your design and in order to make the game challenging, but also rewarding enough that people just don't feel that the game is being just like petty, right? Or vindictive, or just unfair or mean for the sake of it, you know, as opposed, like, one of the reasons people like the Dark Souls games so much is that they are hard as hell, but I don't know if I've always agreed with this in the case of the Dark Souls games, but people really like those games because they say they're hard as hell, but they're fair. And that's the way this feels. You know, you're going to get a bad seed sometimes. You're going to get a run where things just don't go your way. Also, you can do preset seeds if you want, which is really cool. And when you start a new game, see in the upper left there, it shows you your seed number. So you can actually jot that down and be like, wow, this one went really well. I'm going to do that. Or if you want to try to, if you completed a game, you could go back with that seed and try to speed run it if you wanted. You know, noting seed numbers is one of the ways Minecraft speedrunners do things, because they speedrun a particular level layout and game configuration. And this allows you to do that. I could totally see people speedrunning this, and it would probably be pretty friggin' crazy. But yeah, the balance in this is just right. It feels, it's tough but fair. And that's what games like this really require. If the design makes them hard, but they just feel hard for the sake of being hard, that's no good, and that's no fun, and that's going to frustrate people, and they're going to bounce off and say, yeah, this game sucks, it's just mean. And some people will feel that. Some people will get screwed by RNG a little bit and be like, this game sucks, it was just unfair to me. But in my time with it, it has really not felt that way. It's really felt like it's balanced in such a way that on just about every run, if I was a little more careful, and because, you know, I've got ADHD, right? So I tend to be a little bit impatient, and that screws me sometimes in games like this, because where I should take a beat and pause and go, okay, hang on a minute, you know, what should I do here? I tend to rush in. And, you know, what's that they say about only fools rush in? Yeah, exactly. But that's more of a me problem. Oh, this is my favorite kind of level. There's a pile of barrels in every single room. And you can just pop fools aplenty. And I love it. It's so good. So here's a way down, but as you can see, the elevator's broken. So you need multi-tools in order to pull that off. Oh, come on, we gotta find something here. Yeah, like this. Pop, pop! Yeah, I don't know if there's actually anybody in there, but... The technician as well can go stealth temporarily too, which is really nice. It gives you it can get you a little bit of a breather to get out of a tricky situation. And yeah, that's what I really like about this. It feels like every seed. Oh, get rocked, suckers! Oh, that was a bad day for you. So satisfying. This is a game though that you can definitely get good at. It has always felt to me like every seed is beatable. You just got to learn it. You got to be patient. You got to learn how to min-max the skills that your particular character class has. But if you do that, you can get through any element of this, and that is very hard to design in a way that works well. And oh, what a shot! And yeah, this small team did it. I refer to them as this guy a lot. There's sort of one person who led this, but this is a very small team who made this game, and I've been enjoying it a lot. So yeah, that is Jupiter Hell. It is out now on PC. I don't know if it's on console or not. It'll be in the title if it is. I'd love to see it there since it does have full controller support. This would be great, though I imagine he'd have to port his engine to those machines, so that may be a little bit tricky. But this is for hardcore rogue-like players. But if you're one of those, this will be, I think you'll really enjoy this. If you're not, but you're looking to find one to start with, there's a lot of quality in here, and this would definitely be, this one won't be the easiest one to start with, but I don't think you'd go wrong from the angle of it being good and really exposing you to what makes the genre cool. So thank you very much for watching, everybody. I do appreciate it. If you like what you saw here, please do all the normal YouTube things, like, subscribe, click the bell, so you get notifications on future videos. Leave a comment down below as well. Tell me if this looks appealing to you, what you think about it. Do you prefer roguelites or roguelikes? Let me know about that. What are other recommendations in the genre? This has become a packed genre lately, so I'd love to know what you guys think about other entries that you might like. I played a lot of them, but I'm sure there's some I've missed. I'd love to hear about those. And as always, yes, you can follow me over at twitch.tv/pxabstraction. If you like indies and variety like I show on the channel, you really should drop me a follow over there. We cover a lot of games there that we don't necessarily cover on this channel because they're better suited to streaming. We have a small but engaged community over there. Everyone's really friendly, and it's a great time. I'd love to see you there and hang out with y'all. So thank you very much for watching, everybody, and I will see you on the next Indie Showcase. You folks have yourselves a good one. Take her easy.